I'm Robin, the Sudoku Guy.
Welcome to Where You Live. A special guest joins me today, Robin Jarman, known as the Sudoku Guy.
That's right.
And he's got quite a big following on YouTube with a lot of videos. Let's start with, I guess, where did you get your interest for these type of puzzles?
Well, after finishing teaching, I went into tour directing all over the world, and I spent a lot of time in airports. I was introduced to it in Australia. It wasn't here in those days.
Okay.
And because I was very much involved sitting around in airports as a tour director,
I guess. Yeah.
Killing time, I picked up a book of these and just had a go at it, and I thought, this is fun.
Were you addicted right away kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of basically self-taught. I also looked at the internet later on and got a few more clues, but I found that a lot of people on the internet were going very fast and not teachers, I suppose you could say that. And I thought I'd like to put together a course that shows people how to start from scratch, as if you didn't know a thing, and make your way step by step to do really tough ones down the road. And so I've developed this course for free, and it's been a lot of fun. Today I think we hit 2.2 million views from all over 56 countries of the world. Because it started off in the States with a guy, about 74-year-old architect, who unfortunately died before it really took off. Then the Japanese decided to register the name.
Well, you'd think with a name like that, they were involved somehow, right?
That's right. Yeah. And then, very interestingly enough, there's a guy called Wayne Gould, who is a New Zealander, retired judge, I think, in Hong Kong, came up with algorithms that could put together thousands of different puzzles and print. He thought he'd print them out. Actually, there are 5.4 million trillion 5.4 trillion possibilities of these puzzles.
Okay.
So
and does the history not go back even like thousands of years? I mean, if you're talking magic squares, not quite the same. But
there were other number puzzles several centuries ago, but the Sudoku one, this particular traditional Sudoku, really got started in Illinois.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at one here. We'll give one a shot.
Indiana, rather.
Indiana, yes. Let's take a look at here, and I will try to do this one.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is an easy one, obviously.
It's a very easy
Lots of numbers shown already.
And a lot of people, when they first look at these, they say, oh, it's got something to do with math.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't have anything to do with math. It's all logic. You could use letters. You could use little diagrams, animals or birds or plants, just 9 different ones. It'd be just the same.
For those unfamiliar with it, what is the object here? You need to get a number in each column, and row, and box, but they cannot be repeated.
That's right. See, now we have 9 rows. Okay, we're all the way down to the bottom. We have 9 columns, and each one of them is 1 to 9, but not in order. And 9 blocks of 9. These are all blocks of 9, and again, they're not in order. And the key is not to you're right. The key is not to repeat a number in a row, a column, or a block.
Now, can I have
you want to have a go? Sure,
I'll show you how I would do this.
Yeah, everybody has their own way of starting.
I've done a few of these. Now, I look at, like, say, this row, and I see that it's missing a 6 and a 1. Now, I look over here, and I see a 1's there. So, to me, that has to be a 6. And of course, there's a 6 there, so that has to be a 1. Now, that's how I would do it to get started.
You're brilliant.
You have a different way, and it involves these letters on the side. Explain that for us.
Yeah, just before I do that, you did that very well. This is a really easy puzzle.
It is.
If you'd have put a 1 there, Jim, if you put a 1 there, why would not it did not work?
Because there's a 1 there.
You can't have 2 1s in that row. Right. You see, so that's the idea. And that's the simple rules. It's as simple as that. This is a very easy. It gets tougher. You can get lots of harder puzzles. But what I did was to develop a method where you can go step by step. If you're a beginner, this is very handy. Even if you're advanced, I use this system, TMB, even in the advanced puzzles. Now, T stands for the top row here. M stands for the middle row. and B stands for the bottom row of these 3 blocks.
Right.
I call these horizontal blocks. Similarly, these 3 horizontal blocks have a top row,
Yep.
a middle row, and a bottom row.
Right.
Now, and similarly here.
Right.
Now, I usually go from 1 to 9.
Okay.
We'll start off with these 3 blocks, 1 to 9. In this row, there's a 1 in the top
Right.
of that block. In this row, there's a 1 in the middle of that row. And well, actually,
And
in
there's
the
another
middle,
one
in the
there,
middle.
too.
And this one is on the bottom
Right.
row.
So it can't be
So
a
that's
1.
it. You don't have to do anything more. It's
Yeah.
done. Go to 2.
Yeah.
Here we have a 2 on the top row.
Yeah.
Here we have a 2 in the middle. Here we
Uh-huh.
have a 2 on the bottom.
Not 2.
They're done.
Yeah.
Leave it. Great. Go to
3.
the next one. 3. We have a 3 in the bottom. We have a 3 in the top, but we don't have a 3 in here.
Or on this
See,
row.
what you're looking for when you start off with this procedure is you're looking for a number that is in 2 out of the 3 blocks. There's going to be one block that doesn't have it. And this is the block that doesn't have a 3.
So which one do we put in here?
Okay, so
I can see it already.
you can see it already.
Yeah.
Here's 3 on the bottom.
Yeah.
Here's 3 on the top. It has to be in the middle.
Right.
And you put a little 3 because it can go in 2 places. Now, this is the very important next step.
Okay.
The next step is that you take this 3 and you go down to see, oh, I should get rid of this one here, if that's okay.
Sure.
You go down the column to see if there is another 3.
And there is.
There is. You cannot have 2 3s in this column.
Yeah.
So we can erase or eliminate or get rid of that 3, and this now becomes the
A
3
big 3.
because that's the only place it can go.
Right.
Right. Now this is important now. You know, I've even had boys and girls of 5, 6 years of age can work this next step out.
Well,
If
this
you
it
look
can
at
only
this
be
block-
one number, right?
There's only one left in that
Yeah.
block. And you count up to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
And that also finished that row.
Would you double check it, for example? Just
Or you can always double
Yeah.
check. Your self-checking is so important. It's
Yeah.
easy to make.
especially when it gets harder.
When it gets harder, you betcha, yeah. Now let's go to 4. Here's a 4 on the top.
Yeah.
Here's the 4 in the middle.
Right there.
There's no 4 in this block.
Right.
It has to be there or there.
Right.
Now comes the next step, as I said over here.
Look down
you
the
look
rows.
down the column.
Right.
If you look down the column, oh, yes, you saw it. You got a
Yeah.
4 there.
Can't go
So
there.
You can't go there because if you did do that, what have you done? What mistake have you made?
You duplicated it.
You doubled up. You can't have 2 4s in a row, so or a column or a block. Okay, so we put a 4 there. Now let's go to 5s. Okay, 5s. We have a 5 in the bottom.
Yeah.
We
5
have
there.
a 5 in the middle. We don't have a 5 up in this row
It
here.
has to go there.
So it has to go there because this is the block that doesn't
Yeah.
have a 5. So there we go.
And once again, we've got 8 numbers in this block.
yeah.
So there's only one number that can go there.
See, he's catching on. As soon as you,
6.
whenever you, this is a general rule that I always cover. Whenever you get a new number, always look to see if there's another number you can get.
Yeah.
And in this case, we put those 2 in. Now we can finish this block.
And do you always start with the easiest or obvious first? I mean, it makes sense. That seems to be the standard way to do it.
You start with if you
Yeah.
want to learn this, you start with easy puzzles first.
Yeah,
That's
of
for
course,
sure.
yeah.
Now this is a 6, isn't that right? 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5. That's a 6.
But is that, when you say you get a puzzle, it is more difficult. You would start with the easiest, we'd think.
Right, you do with TMB just like what I'm doing.
Same,
Even
yeah.
a very difficult puzzle.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
you don't need any preconceived knowledge, right, to do
No,
these. It's not like a
you're right.
crossword puzzle where you give in hints, and it's not, and it's certainly not math.
Yeah.
Some people look at it and go, oh, I don't want to do that. It's math, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All you have to know how to do is count 1 to 9.
Yeah.
All the rest is logic.
Yeah.
Now we have this row here.
Yeah.
You
Missing
probably
one
noticed
number.
that as we're missing
Yeah.
one number, and it's a 1, 2.
9.
It's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, because we put that 9 in,
We've only got one
this is
there.
missing 1, and it's
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
It's a 6. And now we've completed all the numbers
Yeah.
in those 3 blocks. That doesn't always happen, because remember, this is a really easy puzzle. Once we've finished these 3 blocks, then we do these 3 blocks, the same system.
Okay.
Then once we're doing, then we do these 3 blocks.
And there's different versions, isn't there? I mean, there's killer Sudoku.
Oh, killer Sudoku.
That's the hard one, right?
Really hard.
Is it? Yeah.
And generally speaking, you have the harder the puzzle, the less number of numbers.
Yeah.
But only generally speaking. Sometimes you can have a hard puzzle that's got quite a few numbers on it.
Oh.
It depends on the algorithm and the display on how it's put together. There's different ways of designing the puzzle.
For
so
sure,
I do different systems.
Can you do letters or symbols? Or
Yeah, you can use letters and symbols. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be doing a show with us on Shaw TV Okanagan, a half-hour show, the Sudoku Guy. It's hard to say, isn't it? Tell us a little bit about what kinds of things our viewers can expect to see when you do that show. And you will start with the easier puzzles first, right?
It's a segment, I think 10 segments, and each segment I will actually do a puzzle.
Okay.
And each puzzle that I do will show a new technique of some kind. Okay. Okay? If you go on to YouTube and put down Sudoku Guy, you've got 75 lessons, tutorials, and you even got one program for the young, for children.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. Well, thanks for joining us today. It's been a blast, and it looks like a whole lot of fun. We'll be looking forward to having you as a permanent show.
Thank you. My pleasure. And because that's a 2, this becomes an 8. Wasn't that incredible? That doesn't happen very often, but just so happens that on this puzzle it did. Fantastic. We've got a lot of numbers just because we understood that 2 empty cells can mean a matching pair.